Hey guys, today is Thursday, January 26th. I'm home from work. Saturday night, I woke up after midnight sweating like a pig, massive headache. Next day, long story short, took a COVID test, second time COVID. Called work, they don't want me back till tomorrow. But this time I got this vertigo thing going on, so I don't know, I may just not even go in tomorrow. I'm trying to get by, but we had a couple of little snows, like 6 and 3 inches, and I just couldn't get out and do anything. So the driveway was covered, the end was plowed in. So yesterday I finally bit the bullet and took the Craftsman snow thrower out. Got the driveway 99.9% done, then I started hearing this hellacious noise. So I brought it in here to the workshop this morning, pulled it apart, and saw that, well, I saw this before I pulled it apart, but you can see all the paint missing here. The impeller is hitting, and granted, it's a little off center. I got this hokey rig just so I could see what was going on. But the impeller is hitting, and as it turns out, the bearing back there has quite a bit of slop in it. There was some ice out there. I thought maybe I hit ice and bent the impeller, which is still possible. It looks like there's a low spot here on this wing. But guaranteed that bearing slop. I mean, look at that. And this bolt is tight. That's not the bolt moving. That's the bearing. So this thing has, I'm going to guess, if you saw one of the other videos that I made, I bought this at Lowe's. It was assembled. There was a repair ticket on it. So apparently they used it, around their store. But I can guarantee I don't have more than 30 hours on it myself. Again, I don't know what they've got on it, but that bearing is wiped. And thankfully, it's not really a bad job. It's just annoying that it's another thing I have to fix. It's such a short-houred unit. So yeah, let me show you what's going on there. Actually, let me show you real quick. I thought while I had this apart, I would grease up the bearings for the auger, which really aren't bearings. There's no grease fittings on this. It's that low of an end machine, I guess. Sorry, let me adjust this. So basically, this bearing cup retainer, it goes on here, then the washer goes on, and then the C-clip holds it all together in this groove here. So if you want to, you can pull out your shear pins. There's 2 on each side of the auger. Slide everything off, grease the shaft up, and then put it all back together. So I'm going to do that since it's this far apart. Why not, right? And at least that'll be good. The transmission, I'd love to check the fluid, but they've got this style plug, and I've learned from experience, once you pull them out, typically they get boogered up and then they leak. So I don't see any leaks. There's water on it, of course, because, the snow's melting. I'm in the workshop with the wood stove going. So we're not going to tempt fate. So let's go to the back of this thing and we'll be right back. Alright, so this is the bearing here. And obviously it doesn't sound good at all. I recommend that if you have to replace one of these, this cup, it is possible to get this bearing in offset. So you're going to want to make sure that you're nice and even with the lip of this cup to make sure that it's centered. Otherwise, your auger is going to be canted whatever direction you tighten it up incorrectly, and that's going to be a problem. It wasn't actually all that bad to get apart. 1/2-inch socket and 7/16, no, I'm sorry, 3/8 were the only two sockets that I needed to get it apart. The pulley is not pressed on, which is nice. It just falls off when you take the bolt out, which is a 1/2-inch bolt. They have some Loctite on it. And this goes into the shaft of the transmission. Then of course you have your spacer. So it's really a fairly simple design. But I'm going to pull that bearing out. Turn down your volume. 3, 2, 1. Lock nuts. At least they have Loctite and lock nuts on the spots that are tough to get to. And that's it. That's all there is to that bearing. Yeah, it's not happy. Yeah, it's definitely sloppy. And this is what I was talking about. The way this is cupped. Let me see. Okay, good. The way this is cupped, when you put this bearing in and you tighten it down, you don't want to tighten it down like this, and don't count on the cup pulling it straight. Make sure it is straight. What I'll probably wind up doing is putting a little grease here and here so that I can snug it down pretty good, but I can still move it and get it nice and flush. So now we're going to try and find the bearing and get this thing back together before it snows again. Hopefully there's something local, different application that'll work. I'm going to check around. But this will be part 1 of this video. Part 2 will be reassembly. And if you have to do this job, I'll show you. It's really easy to get this hood off, or whatever they call it. But yeah, so we'll see you soon with part 2.